Oh God, we're recording.
Oh boy.
Oh God. Oh no. It doesn't say anything, but I saw a red light show up.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to switch to self-destruct in like 1 second, and we don't get a reaction to it. We just see it like, wait, oh.
Alright. Welcome everyone to this brand new episode of You Hate to See It. My name's Adam.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Nick.
And today we have a special replacement, guest for Nick. And his name is Mike Albertin. So hello, Mike.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
Happy to have you.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's go. Stuff to do.
Good podcast, everyone.
Great.
Yeah, Adam, you should roll. You should roll the outro music.
Yeah.
It was great. Mike, great to meet you. Can't wait to have you on the next podcast. Nick, it was not a good time doing these podcasts with you.
I'll see you guys next week.
Ah, fuck.
So we like to start every podcast with what we're drinking.
It's
So
a treat this week.
it's a treat. So this week, in
Audio
my
of
picture,
Adam describing what he was drinking.
in my picture of magic, there's 3 different types of vodkas with Sprite.
Oh my god.
With 3 different kinds of Sprites also, or just...
No, just straight Sprite. But the 3 different flavors of vodka have just been like what I've added. I've never finished this pitcher in the past 3 weeks. So,
Jesus.
There better not be Kakarot vodka in there.
well, I don't know.
That's real cheap vodka. I used to work at a liquor store. It's terrible vodka, but
Oh,
it's cheap.
Have you ever had below the bottom shelf gin? Because that shit's awful.
Oh, yo, have you ever thrown Jolly Ranchers in it? Because that's even worse.
have you ever
I have
Have you ever had under the mattress bourbon?
Oh God, we're going to this story.
Oh my god.
No, we've explained it on the podcast before. Long story short, Nick got drunk and hit a bottle of bourbon under my mattress for 3 months. So,
No, I didn't. Oh, I don't think that part was recorded. Never mind. There's no proof.
It doesn't sound like it'd be good.
it wasn't recorded this time, Nick. It's being cut again.
Power of editing.
I'm drinking Goose Island 312 and my last Bush. The last one. I'm gonna savor it by pounding it down like 4 minutes later.
Nice.
So all of my alcohol is at Adam's. I have
Same.
my last St. Archer Gold. My last little bit of bourbon. And then I have 3 Suitor Home Sangrias that are in, 8-ounce bottles? Not even? 6-ounce bottles? Something like that?
If only you said it on the bottle.
Does it?
It does.
Probably
It should.
does.
Yeah,
it
it
has
does.
to, I think.
It's 187 milliliters. If you're Canadian and wrong.
And there goes all viewership or listenership in Canada that we just got.
7% of our listenership's in Canada, Nick. You fuck.
Nick, shall we crack open our last? Beers?
God, it's been so long since I took straight bourbon.
Well, you hate to see it. The last of the beers, boys.
Oof. Oof.
I don't even know how
And
old
I'm
this
drinking Michelob Golden Light.
Ooh.
Because that's what I had on hand.
Nice.
is. That tasted like it's been warm, cold, possibly frozen, and then cold again.
I'll stick with my Michelob then. That
Yeah,
doesn't
well-
sound very good.
You never want to drink anything that Nick drinks, or really what I drink. Jeff's the most normal drinker out of all of us.
This is good beer, though. It is good when it's not, confused.
I'm the most normal, but I drink the heaviest, so
Yeah.
that's why it has to be normal. I can't do all this sugary or mixing it up all the time. I gotta stick to something and get all the way through it. It's an issue I have.
I just drink the same kind of beer. I drink a lot of Landshark Lager. That's one of my favorite beers.
I've seen it. I've never tried it.
It's good. It's a fine beer. It's just a lager. It's not bad. It's made by Budweiser.
I'm gonna have to go in on that.
Hey, it's pretty good, man.
Didn't Budweiser just come out with a new Nitro or something? I think it's Budweiser Nitro they just came out with within the past couple days.
I got nothing.
Oof.
I drink the same beer I've been drinking for years. I don't try different stuff anymore.
I mean, I don't really either, but I just saw an ad for it, and I was like, only worth it if it's a higher alcohol percentage like Bud Light Platinum was. Bud Light Platinum is literally light beer that was like, when it first came out, I think it was like 10% per bottle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember seeing it when it came out.
I think it's
at the liquor
like
store.
7 or 8 now. I think they bumped it because that shit was insane.
Now, one thing I was thinking is funny. You're talking about beers. How no one drinks Corona beer anymore. Well, they shouldn't drink in the first damn place. That beer is terrible.
It's so bad.
I hate it. I fuck it. Anything that smells like weed, I can't drink.
The only person I know that likes it is Tech Guy.
It's just not a good beer. Like, if I have to have a lime in my beer to make it drinkable, there's something wrong with the beer. I can't do it. It's got to.
That's how I feel about Blue Moon.
That takes some getting used to. I used to drink a lot of that.
I can like drink Blue Moon, but I think I only have like one at a time. Like, it's not something I can go like drink a good amount of them. It's definitely more of like a one and done with that one for me.
It's a heavier beer, and it's got a flavor to it. And get kind of annoying.
I just don't like heavy beers. That's where I'm at.
Nick doesn't like anything that reminds him of himself.
We're going hard.
Verda.
Ooh. Oh, there it is. All right, well, maybe we should get into this whole talking to our guests thing.
How would you do that?
Yeah, that sounds.
You just bring guests on to watch us.
Yeah, watch us and listen to us.
Yeah, they get to listen to it live instead of having to go and listen to it when we put it out. Which I mean, we do it live anyways. But
yeah, it's
100%
100% Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time.
We're just drinking heavily right now.
As we do every Monday.
In this great state of New Jerusalem that we're in.
Are you in New Jersey then, or?
No,
Okay.
we used to. I don't know why we stopped. I think when we had to start recording from our own homes, we used to do this thing that when we were all together where we changed locations every podcast. So like one day we were in ancient Greece, and then the next day we were in one of the Springfield,
23
Ohio's.
Yeah, one of the 23 Springfields.
It's fucking 11. Oh my god, we've been over this so many times. It was the whole topic at one point, Nick.
Remember when we were educational, Nick?
I do remember that.
Good times.
Those were good times.
I think we spent half of one of our episodes just like Googling weird facts.
And that week, we got to be labeled as an educational podcast while drunk.
It didn't last long, did it?
We still are going to be educational podcasts.
It's true, especially
if
through today.
Yeah.
Especially you need random facts. In North Korea, it's illegal to wear jeans. I can tell you that. You can't wear blue jeans because it's considered too close to capitalism.
That is a problem.
Makes sense.
It's very, I can see how that's a big problem. Communism definitely needs to be number one, right behind dictatorship.
Well, they're not even really I mean, they might be considered communism, but in communism, you usually don't get killed if you cough or something. Like right now, if you have COVID and you cough, their solution is just shoot you. So I don't know if I call that communism.
Hey, Kim Jong-un's alive again, right?
Who knows?
Yeah, he's alive.
Supposedly.
That's what they want you to think.
Allegedly.
He's actually just a projector. So how Saudi Arabia projects the moon projects Kim Jong-un.
Saudi Arabia, it's Siberia.
Siberia projects the moon.
And then the moon projects Kim Jong-un.
No, the moon controls the tides.
No, it doesn't. That's the
trade federations.
It's a good podcast. That was a good one.
That was a very good podcast.
Oh, don't even get me started on Phantom Menace. I can keep going if you want to go there.
Oh, Phantom Menace. God, when was the last time I saw that movie? Oh.
Hey, that movie in my opinion, still holds up. I watched it not too long ago, and I really liked it. It's one of
the better prequels.
No,
okay, that's not saying much, but it's my favorite of the prequels by far.
My favorite is Revenge.
Okay, at least you didn't say Attack of the Clones, because then I have to accept it.
No, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, Attack of the Clones is. Let's just say I have seen Better things turning around after a nice poop.
Attack of Clones is complete, utter garbage. I mean, if
I
you
haven't
just
seen
mute
that
the
movie in
movie,
years.
it wouldn't be. You just got every time Anakin's on the screen, just mute it and just don't listen to him. Movie would be a whole lot better if you don't have to hear sand. Sand is rough, but you're soft.
That's Attack of the Clones?
It's close. Yeah, it's a line. It's a little bit
Yeah.
off, but it's close to what he says.
It's rough and coarse.
Sand
Gets everywhere.
I don't like sand.
It's bad.
Okay.
And then she marries him.
Let's change that since Jeff doesn't watch Star Wars at all. I don't think he's seen a single one.
Oh no, we're good. Let's you guys do you. It just means I don't have to watch them more if you get too trash.
You're missing out.
I
Most of them are really
sound
good.
like it.
Not that movie. You can skip that movie.
Hey,
I'm a
Nick,
big
why don't
Star
you
Wars fan.
focus on our guest instead of focusing on your stripper dog?
It's cute dog.
Her name's Nutmeg, though, so stripper.
Her name's Dumb Whore.
That that actually is less stripper and more prostitute. So
Yes.
Go bother something else. Okay. Fucking stupid dog. Leave me alone.
It's not going to work, I'm pretty sure.
I can wish you would leave us alone.
I know.
Nick, don't you?
Jeff
have
lived with
questions?
Jeff lived with me and he hates my dog.
The dumb thing can only go upstairs. It can go down.
She can't. So I have a 3. It's like a half basement and then 2 floors. She can go up to the 2nd floor and down to the 1st floor, but she cannot go down to the basement because she doesn't realize that's how stairs work. So, yeah, it's weird. She's a weird dog.
That sounds like it.
I mean, you're her owner, so I mean,
Yeah, but we don't want her to go downstairs.
Maybe
That's
why
where
she
the
doesn't go
bodies
downstairs.
are kept. That's where the basement goblin is.
That is where the house goblin resides.
Yeah, Nick has a house goblin. Anyway, Nick, you've been all excited about having Mike on, and you haven't asked a single question.
So, Mike, what? Again, I apologize. I was only able to listen to the Death of the Family episode.
Oh, you're good.
all right, cool. I'm
What-
gonna take over interviewing because Nick has started 27 times.
What do you play? You have a video game podcast. What do you play? What's your whole thing about your podcast?
We are games my mom's on, but we play a bunch of retro games. So every week we'll dive into something different. I mean, it varies a ton. We've been playing right now. I've been playing Silent Hill 2 recently. Oh, that's a game, all right. If you ever played that or not, it's good. It's just
the only
Isn't oh fuck. No, I'm thinking of the Resident Evil games. Never mind. I was gonna say
I played Resident Evil 2, a lot of
yeah, I was gonna say I played Resident Evil 2, but yeah, no, not any of the Silent Hill.
them.
the last retro game I played was Metroid. The first Metroid.
I never played the first Metroid. I played Super Metroid not too long ago.
Metroid's so good.
But
It's so
NES.
confusing, but it's so good.
I have a hard time with NES.
NES.
I like-
Oh.
Super Nintendo's what I grew up on. So anything like Super
Same.
Nintendo, I'm all for it.
I grew up with my grandmother's SNES playing Super Mario Brothers.
Great. Super Mario World is amazing. Still. And I just played Darkwing Duck on that Disney Afternoon Collection. My God, that game is hard. And I was talking to people about it, like, oh yeah, I beat that game when I was a kid. And I just want to be like, how the fuck do you beat a game like that? But I guess, when you're a kid, you got time, and it's hard.
I also
So.
remember. So my grandmother had a SNES, and it was me and my cousins. We played. We played a lot of Super Mario Brothers, and then a lot of Star Fox. It was a lot of Star Fox. Whichever that one was. I can't
It'd be
remember.
the first Star Fox for Super
Was
Nintendo.
that the first Star Fox?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever look at that game now, that is one ugly game.
So
Well, anything on the SNES was ugly.
Hey, Link to the Past is still beautiful. If you ever played Link to
I
the
don't
Past,
think we had that one. No.
good game.
when did because I listened to a portion of the Heavy Rain podcast. When did Heavy Rain become a retro game?
I'm not sure exactly. It's been out for like over 10 years, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of my favorite games. So I mean, I saw that and I was like, we're listening to this one.
Yeah, 2010.
Is GameCube considered a retro now?
I think anything 360 on is considered retro now.
Jesus,
I want
really?
to say after the next gen, people consider the previous gen retro.
Really? So like PS2, I can't consider that retro.
PS2 definitely is.
Yeah,
at this
Really?
point.
I was gonna say
Okay.
because
Like I could see PS1.
yeah, PS1 I definitely see. PS2 I guess yeah, because I mean shit that thing's like
Fuck.
old now.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
GameCube. What did I play on the GameCube? I played Shrek on the GameCube.
You should
Not what you should have been playing on the game.
It really is. It was game was
There's a
awful.
lot of better games.
Yeah, that game was horrendous.
So there's a thing that Nick's always wanted to try, and it is maybe you can explain it to him. He's always wanted to play Mario Kart with 3.
Yeah. Nick doesn't understand how you can play Mario Kart with 3 people on Wii, and
I want to see what it's like with 4 people.
It's not that hard. Just go.
It's-
Well,
no,
No, that's an inside. That's another
Okay.
inside joke.
yeah.
Like,
all right, I'll
so-
walk away from that.
No, Nick. I think we were really drunk,
We were
just
very
hanging out
drunk.
one night, and Nick and I had been playing Mario Kart, and then Jeff got to my place, and we stopped playing Mario Kart, and because Jeff isn't a huge fan of Mario Kart.
Pretty sure he hates Mario Kart.
And then Nick, the whole time while drunk, was just saying that he's like, "But come on, Jeff, I want to see what it's like with 3 people." And so Jeff was like, after like an hour of Nick saying this one fucking phrase, Jeff finally snapped and was like, "Fuck it, let's fucking play Mario Kart with 3 fucking people." And we played like 1 round, and Jeff just screamed at Nick the entire time.
I think I got hit with because Nick was always in last and always got like a blue shell or a fucking bullet. No, it's like how do you always fuck? I was
And
like,
the problem is, like, that would happen, like, Jeff and I would be in, like, the top 3 places, so we would always get fucked over, and Nick kept beating us.
Fucking.
Yeah, 'cause when-
You go.
You won't get good. You don't get good stuff in the first couple places of Mario at all. Just bananas and green shells.
They're so bad.
I know,
That
but
makes
I'm
sense.
sure Nick's strat is to be in last until he gets.
That's a legitimate strategy though. As long as they don't pull too far ahead, it's a legitimate strategy. And then there are other times where Adam would leave for like an hour, and Jeff and I are just playing golf.
Oh God, we golf. We sports golf for some reason is entertaining.
Yeah.
It's like, can I smack this all the way to the green? Probably not, because it's a video game, and I'm pretty sure they have a fucking limit. But fucking try.
Wii Sports was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, just yeah, baseball, boxing, bowling.
That boxing was so stupid, but it was fun.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have been, but it was.
I gave my dad a black eye while playing Wii Tennis once because, like, it was literally, like, the first day that we had it. I had the Wii I got for Christmas, and I strapped the Wii remote on my hand, and I'm a very physical human being, so when the ball comes towards me, I have to dive for the tennis ball. The sad thing is you don't have to move when you
tennis
play
ball,
Wii, and I just pelted my dad right in the face.
I think Wii Tennis is probably the most fun out of the Wii Sports games.
I mean, yeah, especially because if you have 4 people,
Oh, it's just a fucking cluster and everyone's yelling at each other.
one of my favorite things is when you're on the front line and you just sit there and you're just ping-ponging it back and forth between the 2 front people. Just continue.
Last time we played, I kept getting yelled at because I was able to super serve it and no one else could figure out how to super serve it.
And he kept refusing to tell anyone how
I
to.
was telling you how to do it.
He said
It's
just
the
do
wrist.
it.
It's the wrist. It's all in the wrist.
Uh-huh.
Nick just has more practice with wrist stuff than the rest of us do.
This may or may not be accurate.
All right, so what's your favorite gaming system then?
Well, I would say probably Super Nintendo, just for nostalgic reasons. I'm a huge fan of a lot of the old 16-bit RPGs like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IV.
That was, God, when did that come out?
Early
did SNES
mid
come out?
90s. Oh, the
Okay.
SNES. I can Google it real fast for you.
I got it.
1992.
1992. Okay, so when I was playing it, it was roughly 10 years old.
1991 in North America. I was wrong.
When I was
1992.
yeah. When that came out, I wasn't born. When I was playing that, I was 10 years old.
My favorite old game is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom on
That was a
PlayStation
good
2.
one.
I've never gotten past it.
I think that was on the GameCube too.
There was one level that I cannot figure out. I even tried playing that game again not that long ago. I pulled out my PS2 and tried getting through it, and I could get all the way to a certain level and not get past it. And it's the same level I've been stuck on for the past 20 years, essentially.
I know what level that is. God, that's a memory and a half.
It's the level, I think it's the first time he's outside of his house. So like it's SpongeBob running around outside of his pineapple, and like in that little subdivision, he's just running around collecting coins and collecting pants. And that's all you do. And I don't know, I think I've even looked it up and like done things that the internet tells me to do, and no matter what, I can't fucking get past it. And it also sucks because one pair of pants is up on top of a piece of coral, and that's back when video games had like everything was like normal geometric shapes with like a fake skin covering it. So like the coral was just like a big square cylinder, and then it had like a big weird shaped coral around it. But if you didn't hit on the square part in the middle, you just fell through the coral because they didn't know how to let you land on that shit yet. And that's all I do is just try and hop up on top of this coral and miss for hours.
The thing I played the most of when I was growing up was like 3DS and Game Boy XP. SP. That was what I played the most of, was old Game Boy games, because my dad, he got me a peripheral for my 3DS that let me play SP games on it. And my favorite was an old Incredibles game. Like, it was just a shitty 2D platformer.
Oh,
from Incredibles.
I had that game too.
There was one level that I could never get past.
I think the game I played, I don't know if I played the most of, but I thoroughly enjoyed because it was a co-op game, was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That was a pretty fucking dope.
That's a really good game.
Fucking loved that game.
I never beat it, but I remember one weekend, like many years ago, me and my buddy were playing it, and it's a really good game.
It's so fucking good. Me and my buddy played it all the time. And yeah, I understand the not beating it thing. It took us so long to finally beat Shokan. Like, obviously he's the last guy, but like his fucking abilities are busted as fuck compared to you, and it's just so fucking impossible.
Well, it had to fit the Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, where like he's impossible to beat.
Well, yeah, I mean, but then after that, all of them are Goro's the impossible one to beat, because Goro is supposed to be the hardest thing other than him, but Goro is the hardest thing.
Someday I gotta go back to it, because that game just, I have to play it someday. At least you didn't say you played Sub-Zero Mythologies.
No.
That's a bad game.
But I remember it getting released, and me and my friend being like, we gotta play this, and we got it, and we played through it so many times. The game was PS2 was Medal of Honor. I can't remember.
Oh God, no.
There's 3 of them for PS2. I want to say.
I think it's Medal of Honor 2, the one where like the first opening scene is you're on one of the boats for Pearl Harbor. That
might be Rising Sun then.
That's it. Yeah.
Surprised I remember that.
I played a lot of. It was mostly like we played PS2. Like I always played co-op games because like it's just something to do with your friends.
Yeah, there were a lot of them PS2.
My first
played
garner into console gaming was PS3 and Infamous, I think.
Good damn.
Outside of the GameCube was Infamous.
Infamous is a really good game.
That's been. I know they came out with the second one. I never played it.
Didn't they come out with a third one? Or there's a third one in the making.
No, there's a third. Really? There's Infamous 1, Infamous 2, where you play as Cole McGrath and his story, And then they made Infamous Second Son, where you play as somebody else, and then there's a
New one.
download only one, Infamous I forgot, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a short game. You play
I
as
also
a
played
girl
a lot of
from
Assassin's Creed.
great series, well, mostly great series.
Yeah, like my God, the Ezio trilogy was good except for the last one, which is basically just the
Revelations?
DLC. Yeah, Revelations was basically just the DLC.
Oh,
Two.
Revelations is just not as good as it
It's
should
so
be.
short.
Brotherhood is amazing though.
Brotherhood is by far the best one. I thought 3 was a lot better than people gave it credit for.
3 is an okay game. The problem with 3 is that you just spend so much time running around, not doing as much, and it just
I think
It
they
wasn't
made
as
the
good as it
world
should
a
have
little too big.
yeah.
And then Black Flag was phenomenal.
Black Flag and Rogue is also really good. Not enough people play Rogue.
I've heard. Oh God, I think I just downloaded Rogue and I never played it.
It's really good. It's a smaller version of 4, but the story's condensed and it's very good. I enjoy it a ton.
I play maybe 20 minutes of Rogue and then I pull out my PS4 to game on like every 6 months.
A series I thoroughly enjoy, even though it's just the same thing every game, is the Far Cry series. Don't know why, it's the same thing every fucking time, but
I never played Far Cry.
God damn, they wrote me in every time.
Have you played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon?
I played Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is an 80s version of Far Cry 3. We're in a small island where you're pulling people's hearts out. You're fighting like androids and fighting big Komodo dragons. It's really bizarre.
Huh. I'm playing
cool.
the Dead Island series right now, which is some people love it, some people hate it, but it's just to like bring back memories for me. Because I played through the first one and I thought it was really cool at the time.
I've always been meaning to play those.
So
I just actually downloaded them because, or bought them because the Steam Summer Sale had the entire series on sale for like $11 for all of them, including like, the retro game.
I think I know what you're talking
I'm contractually obligated to bring up this particular gaming series. Probably the thing that I would say made me a gamer the most was Mass Effect. That was the first game first set of games where I put in 200 hours in plus.
Dragon Age actually got me into Mass Effect. Dragon Age, I love the Dragon Age series, and then I was like, oh, like I just like fucking BioWare. Right?
Oh, BioWare is so good.
Like, oh,
old BioWare is very good.
Like, everyone's like, if you played the Dragon, I looked it up. It was like, what are games like the Dragon Age series? And like, I looked it up, and they were like, well, play the fucking Mass Effect thing. It's the same damn fucking series, but you're in space.
God, it's
like, hell yeah.
I'm probably gonna be doing. I probably do a playthrough every year, like a full 1 through 3 playthrough. And I finally need to do one on PC because playing ME1 on a clean save is possibly the worst thing ever.
Oh, it is so rough.
It's so awful playing ME1.
I'm gonna go back to
save.
It soon, but I've heard that. Yeah, I know it's gonna be. I played 2 and 3, and I know it ain't gonna be the same going back to it.
Oh, that's why I'm gonna mod the fuck out of 1.
Yeah. You get like some of the top mods for 1 is just adding saves, so that way you don't have to play it on a clean save, and you don't have all of the dog shit weapons that just stop shooting after 2 seconds.
So what's
I
your
remember it very well.
It's rough, especially like the opening. Like once you get into the meat of the game, it's really fun. But like the first like 6, 7, 8 hours are so just
But the one thing about BioWare, they know how to start a fucking game. Their starts are always just mind blowing, even on the 8th playthrough.
Well, just think of like Mass Effect 2's opening. That's fucking
intense.
Like it's
that's intense every time.
Fucking
where he
with
dies.
3. Yeah, 3's openings are fucking super good too.
I can't remember 3's opening at all.
I can't.
The Reapers invade Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. You're stuck on Earth.
Yeah, you're on Earth for like the first time ever.
It's been so long.
It also took them 3 games and 10 years to add a fucking dodge roll.
What's
Yeah.
So you're into retro games. What's your like favorite like newer game then?
I think 360 is probably still considered retro, and that's the main system I last played. I've been playing some PS4, but I like Dark Souls a lot. That's also
God,
360.
Dark Souls.
And Bloodborne. I hated it at first, but once I got into it,
Oh,
game
God.
is amazing once you get into it.
I downloaded Bloodborne on my PS3, and I couldn't get to the first boss.
It's hard.
I started playing like the first Dragon Souls like a month or two ago, and like yeah, it is really rough, but it's a game that like they make it to where like once you kind of learn what you're doing, you have like the satisfaction is like nothing else, and you just want to keep playing. And I had to like actually back off. I was like, this is gonna be a game where like I stop talking to other people and I just play through it like 6 times.
It takes a while. Like I haven't played it because I played all like Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne before I started the podcast when I had more free time. But I put like 70 hours easy into the first Dark Souls. The same thing you were saying. I just could not stop playing. It really grabs you.
Yeah, even if like you like it was weird because like at the beginning of Dark Souls, like I sucked like most people who play it. Like I was fucking horrible. It was just dying all the time. But like once like you get through the first boss and you finally beat him, you're like, oh, that was satisfying. And then you just keep like going. And you're like, I'm like picking up on all these little tendencies. Like I'm becoming more aware. Like I know what I'm doing. And then I was like, if I keep up with this, like I'm going to not have a life. Like.
It is such a sensation of like what you get from beating boss. And again, what you were saying, like there was a boss that I called the vagina dragon, or a lot of people do. It's called the gaping dragon. It's like a giant mouth that just splits open, and that's become the nickname on the internet for it. And it just murdered me. And I quit the game for like 5 years. I came back and murdered me again. And when I finally killed that sucker, nothing felt better. So it was definitely one hell of a feeling.
God, video games. See, I'm a huge like League of Legends player though, so I'm competitive bash
That's a whole other thing.
the wall
Oh, God.
days, and then win a game after 3 days, and I'm like, haha, I'm the greatest, and I'm not.
I once sold my soul to Final Fantasy 11 for a couple years. I've never touched another MMO or anything like that ever again.
I keep being told to play Final Fantasy, but there's just not enough time in the world for 2 MMOs.
No.
So I just
Not at
had
all.
to sell my soul to WoW. Even though
WoW's
I definitely I wanted to play Elder Scrolls ESO. I
I
wanted
heard good
to,
things about it.
and then I got bullied into trying WoW, and I'm like, I don't have time. There's not enough time in the world for 2 MMOs to just fully
WoW's-
grind 2 of them.
Probably the better one though of everything. I want to say.
I enjoy it. Like, it's fun. It's definitely a lot of fun.
RuneScape fucking sucks.
I fucking hate Root. So,
That's going back to the 90s.
our
I know
buddy,
it's still up though.
my one of my best friends, Don, he convinced us to try RuneScape, old school RuneScape.
What year was it?
About 3 months ago.
Oh, okay, that's way you missed that train by like 20 years.
He convinced us to try it for like a day. I played for 6 hours, was so bored, logged off, went to bed, woke up, went to work, and was still bored. Like, I was doing my job, sitting there reading comics, which is my job. And I just couldn't
That's
read.
not his job.
I put them
but-
down to like, I'm so bored.
RuneScape came out in 2001. You had to play it like I played it like 2004 or 3, like when you didn't have a lot of MMOs. Playing it nowadays, no way in hell.
It was so boring. God, like if they just had, I keep telling him, if they just added an auto run and didn't make it a year till stamina regens, I would be able to play it.
But then they couldn't get your money.
So bad.
They want you to subscribe.
Yeah, he's like, well, once you subscribe, you can level up agility, and then that lets you run. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You shouldn't have been playing that game in 2020. Okay, that's a 2001 game. 2003.
Oh my
you don't touch that.
God.
In this
And
day and age.
he somehow managed to get like 4 or 5 of us to try it, and I was streaming it, and I just couldn't. Like, I don't think I talked for a solid hour because I was just so bored.
It's not good. I didn't like it in the early 2000s. I'm like, why am I playing this shit? And I never played it again. But
Oh my
not
God.
good.
Adam, you
was-
should tell him about your gaming experiences as you were one of the best video game players I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so obviously I played PS2. I played SpongeBob SquarePants. I played the Tom and Jerry game where they just fight each other the whole time, and it's multiplayer. But the multiplayer has to be in the same room as you because it's PS2. And then violent games started coming out. Ooh, scary. That's what my mom thought. I didn't play those because I was going to become a serial killer. So,
Thank you, Tipper Gore.
So, I didn't play anything because they stopped making stuff for PS2. And then my mom was like, "Oh, what's this new Wii thing that everyone's talking about?" Well, I see that it involves some kind of exercise, which is good for my son, who is athletic and always moving around. So this is a good way for him to play video games and be healthy. So I got Wii the Christmas after it came out, and that was fun. And then Spider-Man for PS4 was coming out, so I bought myself a PS4 just to play Spider-Man.
Good game.
Great game. And so I have that. And also, if you want to talk PC games, Backyard Hockey, anyone? That's a great game. But so I then became friends with all of these ass clowns, and they convinced me to start playing League.
And then immediately was like, please never play again.
And so I play NHL for PS4. I play Spider-Man. I'm still not through my first save game. I got the game the day it came out, and I'm still not done with it. I'm about halfway through. I got Star Wars Fallen Jedi.
Fallen Jedi.
Yeah, great. It's actually a really
also.
good fucking game. My biggest problem is I set everything on ultra easy, like the easiest level that they're on. I contemplate emailing them and asking for an easier level, because that's how
Ain't
good
nothing wrong with that.
I am so
I
good
play
at
on easy
video
too.
games. But yeah, that's my video gaming experience.
Oh, and The Sims. You play a fuck ton of The Sims.
Oh, me and The Sims. I've bought every expansion on The Sims 4 that you can buy. And so my playing The Sims is different than anyone else. What I do, my favorite parts of The Sims is making the houses and making people. So I've actually have a small following for my Sims work. I don't stream anything, but I make TV characters, and then I make their apartments and houses and stuff, and then I upload them to the Sims gallery thing, and everyone loves me for that. But then my biggest joy out of The Sims is I like making the three of us usually. I have our entire friend group, which is about 20-ish people. So I have all of us made and saved. And what I like to do is build houses and stuff, and then do different variations of our friend group. I have all of us living in one house together on one save game. And then I have different save games of just the three of us doing things. And I usually try getting Nick to hook up with anyone possible because Nick's single, but I've made mine and Jeff's girlfriends. So when they come on, so I bring them on after Jeff, Nick, and I have had our fun on Sims. So I bring Kristen and Morgan on, and then it's very uncomfortable because Sims need to go through specific things in their relationships with each other, and also making making Jeff's girlfriends is a real awkward experience for me because I have to choose what she sleeps in and her swimwear and stuff, and I don't like doing that because I just feel dirty. Because I'm like, I sit there and like I get too into it, or I go, I don't think Kristen would wear that kind of outfit, but I'm also talking about underwear, so like, and then I have to like get Jeff to woo Kristen over and sleep with each other, and and I always
chase them away.
Yeah. I always try to do this and take a video of it or something and send it to Jeff, and just so he knows that, hey, I've seen you and your girlfriend having sex now. Thanks, cool. It's not like I do it going out of my way to be like, hey, I want to do this, but like I want them to get married, and there's steps that the Sims need to go through to decide that they should get married, and I'm like, well, I guess this is happening. And like the Sims will do their own things too. Like they'll get married and be so overwhelmed with joy that then on their own they'll go and have sex. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just sit here. Don't mind me.
This isn't awkward at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what we do normally anyways.
This is true.
Well, I sit there and watch you and Kristen have sex.
Do you not remember?
Oh, yeah, we Zoom call it in. So Mike, so you also enjoy comics. Are you a Marvel or DC or one of the smaller companies, or do you just not give a shit? Or
I don't read anything current anymore, but I like the Marvel movies better. I like the Marvel characters better, but I read a comic. I tend to read a DC comic because I think the stories are better.
So, well, if you haven't read anything newer, I recommend Deceased.
This is so
Okay.
good.
Oh,
Highly recommend it.
It's spelled DCEASED. They had it originally was just a 6-issue mini-series set out of the DC universe, and it did so well they did a little like one-off in the middle of it, and then it was so good that they decided to do a 3-issue mini-series sequel called Deceased Unkillables, and then that did so well that they decided to make another sequel called Deceased: The Dead Planet. And that's what we're currently on right now. I think it's like
very good.
It's the Dead Planet's going to be 7 issues or something. It's so fucking good.
And then if you do
That's
want to
cool.
get current, good luck.
Well,
Yeah,
good luck on DC, because everything is connected on DC, because DC is getting
What?
ready for a big crossover. But
Yeah, it was 5G, but
yeah, Marvel is.
I know that got canceled.
Yeah, Marvel right now. Marvel does a really good job of doing like keeping things separate enough that you can only read this one character's comic and understand everything that's happening for that character.
If you want to be current with DC, you need to read DC Rebirth, Dark Knight's Metal, Justice League No Justice.
You need to read everything that DC has put out in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I read Rebirth when that came out. I was kind of into. Yeah,
Rebirth is so good.
Really
Metal. God, okay, so Metal.
I need to read
No
Metal.
Justice. Metal is. I highly recommend Metal. I have the.
It sounds awesome.
Graphics and all. It's so good.
I just haven't
and
got around
that's-
to it yet.
You need to watch. You need to read the Batman's Grave. That's like its own standalone thing. It's 12 issues long. I think they're on issue 10 or 11 right now. But that is really good. It's like all in the course of 1 week.
Oh yeah, what else do you need to read? You also need to read Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen.
I've heard a lot about that.
It's very good. That's also very good. But in order to understand all of this, you also need to read Justice League. And then right now they are on Dark Knight's Metal, which is quite possibly. I've only read the first issue because I think they just came out with the second issue this week, but I haven't gotten it.
Yeah, I don't read a lot, but I listen to a comic podcast that keeps me up to date. But
that's honestly the better move. You'll save money.
Save
a lot of money.
What's your favorite comic storyline?
Oh, I haven't read I can tell you a least favorite one. I'm thinking of one of my favorite one. I read the Hawkeye 2012 run not too long ago by Matt Fraction.
I definitely thought you were going to say Flashpoint, but
Flashpoint's pretty good, but that's not far from my favorite.
I hate Flashpoint.
Flashpoint's trash.
I hate New 52. I hate New 52 so much.
I really like New 52.
God.
I can't really say what my favorite is. I mean, I've read some off and on, but like one that sticks out, at least I read not too long ago, is Court of Owls. I really enjoyed a lot.
Oh, Court of Owls is
New 52 though.
So there's some things about New 52.
So you're telling me you're lying is what you're trying to say.
I am telling you I'm lying.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Batgirl New 52, Batgirl New 52, very good. Death of the Family is New 52.
Yep.
Is very good. Batman New 52 is a little weird. I got to the point where Jim Gordon becomes Batman for a little bit, and I was like, I'm done, and I just I never saw that. I never read that.
It's way later. It's past all the good stuff.
The only full line I've ever read in New 52 was Batgirl, and that was honestly very, very good.
I tried reading a bunch of Aquaman in New 52. I got about 25 issues in before Jeff Johns goes off the run, and I was done. I couldn't take it anymore.
Jeff Johns is like he's good short term, but his extended stories are confusing.
Like Aquaman gets really weird.
I think Zack Snyder's probably the best writer out there right now. Or not Zack Snyder, Scott Snyder.
I was gonna say, yeah, Scott Snyder's really good.
Scott Snyder, because he's basically in charge. He's writing Justice League, and he's in charge of the Metal right now. So he's basically controlling the DC universe right now.
When you said Zack Snyder, like, did you ever see Sucker Punch?
No, that's not it. Not Zack Snyder.
I have seen Sucker Punch, and boy, oh boy, is that an hour and 45 that I will never get back.
I tried I tried to watch that whole movie, and I couldn't do it. It is.
I watched it because all of the actresses in that movie are fucking hot. And so that's why I started watching the movie. I convinced my girlfriend that we had to watch it. And my girlfriend actually loves the movie. But that is a terrible movie.
I couldn't finish it.
I finished it just because she really liked it. I wanted to get out of it. I was in love with Vanessa Hudgens though, because High School Musical. Woo!
So here's my real question. What is your opinion? Okay.
This is Nick's real question. When can you replace him?
Yes. Also true.
If I didn't record 8 episodes a month, but
Jesus.
I do a lot of podcasting.
Okay.
A lot.
Oh yeah, my question was, as someone who has never read a comic, what is the series you would recommend to someone to like get them into like comics? Because I don't trust Nick telling me, because Nick's just gonna tell me his favorite, and I'm gonna read it and be like, I don't fucking get this.
Do you have any characters that you like their media?
I really like anything Punisher. I'm a huge The Punisher guy.
I never read much Punisher, but I know there's a run by Garth Ennis, I want to say, that a lot of people talk about. I've never read it.
Do you like Ghost Rider 2, Jeff?
I mean, the movies weren't that great.
No, they're not.
So
excuse me. Ghost Rider 1 is a work of art.
Do I like
Ghost
the
Rider
concept of Ghost Rider? Yes, I think it's a cool concept. Let's put it this way. I like anti-heroes more than I like.
So, Cosmic Ghost Rider is Frank Castle, who's the Punisher, gets power. He gets the power of Ghost Rider. So it's the Punisher with the powers of Ghost Rider, and yeah, so that's supposed to be because they just brought it back.
Read Killer Be Killed. it's like a Punisher. It's an indie series, and it's a guy who ends up the basic summary is a guy tried to commit suicide. He fails, and all of a sudden he starts seeing this demon, and this demon tells him, if you don't kill people, I'm gonna kill you. And it's you would probably like it then. It's only 26 issues or so, but it's very intense.
I'm down. I mean,
no superheroes, just a guy who has problems.
I still think, Jeff, you would really enjoy Deceased. I really think you would.
Probably. It is not connected to the DC universe at all.
Yeah, you don't have to know anything else. I don't know who half the characters are in those runs because I don't know those smaller DC characters, but...
So, real quick, your true opinion, the most important question. What is your opinion on Killing Joke?
I read it like 5 years ago, and I remember enjoying it. And I also like that movie a lot, too, though. I think the movie's
Thank you.
fine.
That movie's not as bad as everyone says it is. It's just the romance plot between Batman and Batgirl makes no sense.
It makes sense in the idea of you have a younger girl who's kind of looking up to this guy, and she's like, I want to say early 20s or right around that age.
Girl with daddy issues, yes.
I mean, kind of, yeah, and it also makes him feel uncomfortable, which also makes sense because he's not really, Batman never really matured because he went crazy and his parents died.
Yeah, the whole Batman is the true face of Bruce Wayne. That whole thing.
It's good. I thought the movie was fine. It was entertaining, and people just don't like it that they changed a classic story, but...
I think Mark Hamill is probably the best Joker, at least voice acting Joker.
Not Jared Leto? Come on now. I'm kidding. I hate Jared Leto on that world.
I know because I listen to your podcast. I know how much you hate Jared Leto.
It's fucking terrible.
So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like him doing it, but I don't mind as much as of them trying to make Joker more modern. Like, I didn't absolutely hate the look, but yeah, I think
not the look.
I didn't.
It's the actor.
Yeah.
I didn't mind him. I feel like they need to release the rest of the stuff of how Suicide Squad was supposed to be, and let's see how Jared Leto did in that, because they could fill another like hour and a half of just Joker stuff, because Joker was the original villain of Suicide Squad before they redid everything. So
it would have been better that way.
I think your point that the death of the family Joker is what Jared Leto was trying to go off of is actually pretty solid. I don't know.
But the problem with Jared Leto is just like he sent used condoms to the cast members when he was filming. Like he just has problems. He really did that too, unfortunately, and he sent them rats too, dead rats.
It also just seems like
pretty sure.
It just seems like anyone that chooses to play the Joker now gets themselves into a really fucked up mindset.
Well, I think they keep picking method actors probably because they would do the best job, and just some people are
taking it too far.
Yeah, some like Jared Leto, like method acting is not a problem. Obviously, Heath Ledger did it and Joaquin Phoenix did it, and they're fucking amazing at the Joker.
I haven't seen the Joker movie yet.
I haven't. It's
a good movie, but it's very depressing, especially in today's world.
And then, but I think Jared Leto just went like off on a different tangent when he did his method. Like he was like way too gimmicky with his method, whereas taking it extremely seriously of how you should probably do things.
I love Heath Ledger still. I think that's the best version of the Joker. I mean, I will agree with you that Mark Hamill does an amazing job in the animated, but for like live action, Heath Ledger did something else in that movie. He was also such a down to earth Joker because most of that franchise is very down to earth.
Yeah.
So I read an article that Heath Ledger, he stayed in character a lot, but he also like he had like a weird like in between stage of like between filming and not filming, so like it was easy for him to switch it on and switch it off then. But
so it's the opposite of what Skarsgård did for It, because they literally kept the kids from him on set because he was like so into character. Well, he was also in his makeup a lot, which already is pretty fucking
and they wanted the kids to be afraid of him, and if he's palling around with these kids in costume, they stop being afraid of him.
Yeah.
So, but like Heath Ledger would go around and like skateboard and hang out with the cast, but he would like keep the voice and keep a few things just to when they yell action, he can just do it and not have to think about it. But
I want to say that he would yell, like he'd be talking, all of a sudden he would just yell, and they wouldn't be expecting. So when they jump on camera, it wasn't fake. They didn't see it coming.
yeah,
I'm
and like,
pretty sure I read that.
and I think
The
the
hospital
entire
scene
well, the
when
hospital,
they blow up the hospital.
yeah, the hospital
Like that was
scene,
ad-libbed.
well, because the explosions fucked up.
Yeah.
Like he had no choice. They had one shot, and so it was you stay in character until it's done. Like, but the scene when he threatens and Rachel and throws her off the building, he like ad-libbed a lot of that, and so a lot of the
I know there's a scene that like, or a lot of scenes where he would do like improv shit just to keep people on their toes, like at all times throughout shooting.
yeah, he apparently like really truly terrified Michael Caine in the Rachel threatening scene, and so he was freaking out. Yeah, he was a great guy. Good for him. Apparently he was actually getting punched by Christian Bale in the interrogation scene.
Oh.
Like
Jesus.
he
I heard that too.
yeah, he like went, like he kept telling Bale to just go for it and just keep going at him, and Bale was like pulling his punches, and then Heath like went off on Bale and like forced Bale to like actually punch him in the face and stuff, and so they were like actually full on fighting each other in that scene. And
Good scene.
the clapping sequence where he's clapping at Jim Gordon was completely on the spot.
Well, another, I mean, it's not from that movie, but like another random spur of the moment thing that like was really good and worked out in the movie was in Django when Leonardo DiCaprio cuts his hand on accident and then he just plays it off and everyone was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, this isn't supposed to be happening.
Yeah, he just did that, and then when they finally cut away from him, that's when they cleaned him up, because like at one point he like rubs his bloody hand all over her face, and that's not allowed. So they had but so because he had cut his hand to keep and they loved it so much, to keep continuity, when they cleaned him up, stitched him up, and then they put fake blood all over his hand and let him keep acting with a bloody hand. And then yeah, so like everything he did, like him rubbing his hand on her face was improv, but that wasn't real blood at that point. So
All right, guys, I hate to be that guy, but I think it's about time that we sadly have to end this. Mike, it was great. It was a good time.
It was fun.
Got a lot of information that I didn't know about, but I'm actually really interested in comics now.
I have
after-
information for you once we go off the air too, so that you might
Fantastic.
appreciate.
All right. Well, with that, Adam, take us out.
sure. I record.
Also, Mike, you want to plug your podcast real quick?
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
Jeff.
I am
Get that part first, and then I'll tell Adam to take it out.
okay. I am Games My Mom Found, where we do a retro. Well, I call it a retro video game podcast. Where we review all sorts of stuff. We review comics. We're actually doing the Marvel Cinematic Movies. I just published Captain America: The First Avenger. We started from the beginning with Iron Man and been working our way through and releasing an episode every month. So if you'd like, check those out. That's been fun as hell to go back and revisit thanks to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Man.
I've been slowly going through them also in order, and I'm
Just skip Dark World.
watched-
Dark World, what is that? I watched it and then I forgot about the next day. Like that's the kind of movie it is. It's really forgettable.
Yeah.
It's definitely like the worst one.
No.
No, no, am I wrong?
Hulk is one of my least favorites so far.
Hulk or Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
Edward
Incredible
Norton.
Hulk's pretty good. I like Incredible
I
Hulk.
rewatched it recently.
No.
Okay, there's one part that broke me, and it's kind of me nitpicking, but I'm going to say it real fast. There's a part where he's in Guatemala. No, not Guatemala. He's somewhere in South America, and he has no money, has nothing. He puts his hand out. Someone puts a quarter or a coin in his hand, and all of a sudden, a week later, he's in America. He has no money, no ID, nothing, but he's in America, and it bothers me so much. But yeah, it's not as good. It's an alright movie, but it's one of my least favorite. I should like Iron Man 3 a lot more than I wanted to the second time.
I watched Iron
Iron
Man
Man-
3 recently.
Iron Man
and it's
3.
actually really good.
Hold on. Let's end the recording, and then I'll.
Adam, take us out.
No. All right. Thanks, guys, so much for listening to You Hate to See It. We are available wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search You Hate to See It. We're also on all forms of social media. For all of the latest updates on what we are doing, you can go to Twitter, you can go to Facebook, you can go to Instagram, you can go to YouTube, you could do a lot of things, but as long as you search for You Hate to See It, you'll find us. Look for the little Chad logo. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Have a good time!
Professional have standards. That's not it.